Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of buying and selling in pay-to-play RuneScape. We're going to go from 0 to 100 mil using the Grand Exchange only. So it's going pretty well. We're at 3.9 mil with the items we have so far. And I'll have to say today was probably the most progress we've made. We made over a mil, I think, in one flip. That comes in near the end. So you can just stick around and watch it, or you can just skip to the end if you want. So we will just jump into it here. Okay, so we're just going to come in here with a couple flips. We unfortunately lost the first clip where we bought them, but they're pretty basic. Just some Bowstring and Zulrah flips like we've been doing before. And let's just do a little calculation here. So the Bowstrings we actually managed to get a 4 GP margin on, and we got 10k of those. You can see there, 4 GP margin, so we got 40k from the Bowstrings. The Zulrah scales, we got 3 GP margin on them, and we got 8k of those, so that's 24k. The Mystic Boots were pretty negligible. We only got like 5.5k on those, and we're still selling off these prayer potions. My god, they've been in there for so long. Okay, so I think we're going to do the Bowstrings. You can see there they still have a 7 GP margin on them, which is really good. They're a bit high for what they're normally at, but we'll take the risk just because the reward we can get back is pretty decent. So we'll put an offer in for 179. I think we'll buy another 10k of those or something. And once again, I think we're going to do another Zulrah flip. It's been 4 hours, so I might as well do it again. You can get a max of 30k of these. Unfortunately, I don't have enough, but a 3 GP margin is still pretty nice. We'll try to get as many as we can. Not going to be quite enough to get 30k, but we will go for 10k, and hopefully still get a 30 GP margin. Most of the Bowstrings have bought, which is good, hopefully, as long as they didn't drop down. And we'll get one last item in here with the rest of our cash. And I think with the last of our cash, we'll just go for these random trimmed armor, because we don't have much left, but it would still be nice to get a bit of money out of it. So this had about a 5k margin on it. So we'll go buy 10 of them, and hopefully we can sell them for 50k profit, or no more, like 75. Alright, I'll check back in a few hours. Okay, so we fucked up a little bit. The Bowstrings we lost quite a bit of money on because they dropped down, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can make it back. So the Bowstrings, we actually lost 19 GP on each one, netting us a loss of almost 200k, which sucks, but there's not much you can do about that. The Zulrah scales, we got a 1 GP margin on, so we got 10k, woohoo. And the prayer potions, I honestly have no fucking idea. We've been selling those off for so long. We made money on it, because each stage we slowly dumped 100 more and 100 more. We were making money on all of those. I'd say we made 50 or 60k at least. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but hopefully we can go make the money back. Okay, so I think we're going to go with the Mystic Boot. Has a 2.5k margin on a 10k item, which is really good. So we'll go ahead and buy hopefully 200 of these. Not super likely, but we're going to leave this in for a while, so we don't want to hit any cap of any kind. So we'll put an offer in for 200 and check back in a while. And next up, I think we're going to do the Zulrah scale. Again, because it's been 4 hours pretty much, so we're going to go do this again. I had about 2 GP margin on it, which is pretty standard, so we should hopefully get 20-30k on that. And I think for the last item, we're going to go with the 2-dose prayer potion. I had about a 500-600 GP margin on it, which is pretty good, and they do sometimes take a while to sell, but I just couldn't find anything better for the amount of money I had left. So we'll go put an offer in for like 90 or something, or yeah, 90. And we'll check back when some stuff's bought and sold. Okay, so everything is sold, except for the plate legs, which are taking forever. So we sold everything for a pretty decent profit, but unfortunately we didn't buy as many as we wanted. But we'll start with the Mystic Boots here. We got 2300 GP profit on each one, which gives us 46k in total, which is pretty decent. Fortunately, we couldn't get more of those. The 2-dose prayer potion, we got 730 GP profit on each one, giving us 22k. And the Zulrah scales, we got a 3 GP margin on each one, giving us a 30k profit. All in all, we probably netted about 100k, which is pretty good since this is a quick flip, but it would have been nice had we bought a little more items. But oh well, let's just continue on here. Okay, so I think we're still going to go with a prayer potion, because they have been pretty decent. Like you can see there, it still has an 800 GP margin on it, which is really good for the price point. And I think people will buy them to decant them, so they won't be stuck forever not selling, but still, it is a risk. They do take a while, so I admit that. So we'll go buy a couple hundred of these for 6k even, and we won't get that many, but hopefully we can get some. Okay, so next up we're going to go with the Mystic Gloves. They had a 900 GP margin. We bought them for 6,900 and sold them for 6K even, which is pretty decent. So we'll go ahead and buy a couple hundred of these. And last up here, I think we're just going to go buy some random piece of trimmed armor. This had about a 15K margin on it, which is pretty nice. We're going to buy it for about 17K, if I can spell adamant correctly. Okay, there we go. The adamant full helm we bought for 31K and sold it for about 17K, which is a pretty decent margin. So we'll go buy a couple of these with the remainder of our money, and we'll check back in the morning. Okay, so we have sold everything except for the mithril plate legs, which was a bad idea. So the 2-dose prayer potion, we actually managed to get a 820 GP margin on it, and this time we actually managed to get a good amount of them. We got 176, which gave us a 144K profit on that, which is pretty decent. You can kind of see there. And the gloves, we got a 940 GP margin on. We only got 39 of the gloves, but that's still 36K from that. And the full helm we sold for a 11.5K margin, which is pretty decent. So we've caught back up to where we started the episode at, so let's see if we can irk out some profit at least, so this wasn't an entire waste of time. Okay, so the 2-dose prayer potion still has a 500 GP margin on it. Actually even a bit more like 550, so we'll still go do this again. They were very successful last time, so we're just going to try them one more time. And we'll get a couple hundred of these for about 62.60. And hopefully we can buy a decent amount of these as well. Alright, so I think we're going to do the bowstring. Has a 4 GP margin on it, and I don't know if we're going to get screwed over again. But we'll try it again. Actually, sorry, it has a 6 GP margin. Yeah, okay, we'll go buy some of these. 10K, and hopefully this time we don't lose money on it. Okay, so I think we're going to go with the Navy Cavalier. I can see there it has about a 10K margin on it, just a bit less. It's not traded very frequently, but we'll just put a little bit of our money in here and buy them for like 6K, and hopefully we can get a little bit of money from these. So yeah, we'll just put an offer in for 30, and we'll check back when some of these potions have bought at least. There we go. The bowstrings actually sold for an 11 GP margin, which is quite good. And we also sold the mithril plate legs off. Finally, those are gone. So on the bowstrings, we got an 11 GP margin, like I was saying, and we got 10K of them. So that's the 110K, very quick and easy. And the plate legs, we probably got like 2K on average. So we got about 25 to 30K on those. Kind of got split up over quite a long period of time, so it's hard to remember. So what we're going to start off by doing is just dumping these hats, which kind of suck. I don't know why I keep buying these clue scroll items. They're really not that great. But hopefully we will not do that in the future. So we'll start off by finding a couple more items. Okay, so I think next up we're going to try the Dragon Arrow. This is a heavily traded item, and we can just see what we get the margin at right here. So we buy it for 1078, and I think we sell it for like 100 GP margin. Like, it's pretty crazy for how cheap this item is. Okay, so 68 GP, still pretty decent, so we'll go ahead and try these. So I think we're going to use the bulk of our money on these. We'll buy them for around 1010, just about over K. And we'll buy 2K of these, and hopefully these don't screw us over at all. Okay, something seriously weird is happening here. You can see the prices of arrows. I just did that. We bought them for 650 and sold them for 261. So we could be losing a lot of money here, or we could be making a lot of money. This is really going to depend on what I do right now. So we'll explain a little bit here, but first we're just going to dump the hats here. Just freaking hats. Don't need them anymore. And we're going to get as much money out of the flips we have currently, because we may need to invest back into the dragon arrows when they're super low. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out these prayer potions. Even though they're still selling, we need the money right now. So I just did a quick calculation. We actually made 480 on each prayer potion. And we sold 172K of them. Sorry, 172 of them so far for 82K. So we'll pull that money out. And yeah, so I just sold the dragon arrow. What is going on? Okay, so let's slow it down here. So we bought originally the dragon arrows for 110 each for a decent margin. But now they've dropped tremendously. But you can see I've just bought 2K arrows for 300 GP, which is insanely lower than what they're normally at. And then now some of my arrows are selling, so something really weird is going on here. So we've kind of safeguarded our losses by buying more at such a low price. I think in the business world it's called like dollar cost averaging or something. I won't get into that. But you can see we just got a bunch of dragon arrows at 300 GP. So what we're going to do is we'll put them in here for a little bit higher than the other ones that apparently are selling again. There must have been an update release because they're fluctuating quite a lot. We're going to go try to buy and sell one of the arrows just to see what the margin is at now. But yeah, those still seem to be selling, so that's great actually. So we might be primed to make a ton of money on this item. So yeah, let's just check the margin here to show you how wonk this is. Say we bought them for 110, which is my price. And we'll have to drop it down to 1 GP, I think, to even sell these. It's 1 GP and 261. Look at that. That's like an 800 GP margin on a very highly traded consumable item, which is insane. So we're going to go put another offer in here to buy some more of these because it seems like a great opportunity, really. So we'll buy them for just a little less than 400 GP. We'll go for 397. And we'll try to get 3k of them. So yeah, some crazy stuff's happening, but I think in the end we were going to profit quite a bit off this. If you just dumped them right away for the 600, which is what they are at, you would have lost a lot. So sometimes it's worth seeing if the item's going to kind of level out. And yeah, we'll check back in a couple hours. We're not going to leave these too long. Okay, so we have actually managed to sell everything here, so we lucked out quite a lot. We are done. Everything's out. All our money is in, and we made a bunch. So we'll start and try to simplify this the most. So we bought 3 different sets of dragon arrows at different price points. So for the first buy, where we bought them at 110 each, we sold them back, broke even on exactly the same amount. So 2k of those arrows we just broke even on. Now the rest of them, secondly, we bought another 2k set of dragon arrows, but we got them for 300 each. And we still managed to sell them for 990 each, which is a 690 GP margin on it, and that's on 2k arrows. So in total, on that second part of the flip, we got 1.38 mil, which is the biggest amount in one single flip that we've ever made. And for the third set of dragon arrows, we managed to get, remember we put another offer in for 397 each, I think. We actually managed to get nearly a K of those arrows before the price went back up to normal. So on those, we got a 593 GP margin and sold about 993 of them. And so that gave us 558K. So in total, I will just add up these numbers here. So 1.3 mil plus 5.58. Oh yeah, and the hats we actually managed to sell off as well, and we got 4,200 in each of those. So whatever, that's another 25k. So in total, we got 1.8 mil out of that entire flip, pretty much. Even maybe 1.9 mil, which is by far the biggest amount we've ever got. So that being said, I think this is where we're going to end the episode. As it stands, we are at 6.2 mil now. So in the episode, we made 2.3 mil, which is probably the most we've ever made in a single episode. Again, the bulk of that is coming from the dragon arrows. But it just goes to show that when the price is dropping, going all over the place, it's actually a good opportunity to buy more of the items instead of just selling it at a loss. Yeah, so we did pretty well this episode, and I will see you guys in episode 4. If you enjoyed, just hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.